Hello and welcome to Asia Calling. In today's program, the South Korean government tries new ways to stop its citizens from killing themselves. Also, we meet a Birdman in Nepal. And after years of repression, Myanmar's graffiti artists are expressing themselves. Welcome to the program. I'm Rebecca Henschke. In South Korea, wealth does not equal happiness. Even though the nation has experienced fast-paced development, many people there experience depression. The Organisation for Economic Cooperation and Development has again ranked South Korea as the nation with the highest suicide rate. From the capital Seoul, reporter Jason Strother tells us about a new approach the government is taking to prevent more Koreans from taking their lives.
It only took a generation for South Korea to go from poverty to one of the world's top economies. It's a fast-paced society where people have a hard time slowing down. And some observers say this rapid development is leaving many Koreans feeling isolated and depressed. Kim Hyun-chung is a psychiatrist at the National Medical Center in Seoul. She says more than half of her patients have suicidal thoughts.
We're just growing just too fast. And people, I don't think they have time to adjust to it. You know, we're an Asian culture society, but now it's more globalized, it's westernized, and people do, I don't think people have had enough time to adjust to the big changes.
The biggest change, Kim says, is family structure. No longer do multiple generations live under one roof. She says the traditional support system is disappearing.
More parents are working, you know, mother, father, they're both working families, and more focused towards competition, earning the money, all of that. I think we're more focused towards that than the quality of life.
Kim says senior citizens make up the largest demographic of Koreans who take their own lives, but suicide is still a leading cause of death for young adults, high school, and even middle school students. Here in Seoul, someone who is contemplating suicide doesn't have to look far to find a place to do it. The Mapo Bridge, which spans the Han River, has seen more jumpers than any other bridge in the capital. In the past 5 years, at least 100 people have leaped from its guardrails. Around half lost their lives after hitting the water 20 meters below, mostly from drowning. For those on the edge, picking up this phone could save their lives. It's connected to Lifeline Seoul, a call center where trained staff counsels potential jumpers. If that doesn't work, emergency responders are contacted to get callers off the bridge before it's too late. Park Hyun-jin is a volunteer at the center.
사람 사는 이야기에 전화 걸려오는 것들에 대해서는 전화 상담하는 두려움이라든가 이런 건 웬만한 일반 전화 상담은 없는데 단 다리에서 전화가 올 때 이때는 정말 긴장이 되죠. 왜요?
But Lifeline can't save everyone, so the Seoul city government is trying a new approach on the Mapo Bridge that they hope will stop potential jumpers from taking the next step. Along the bridge's sidewalks are inspirational slogans that say things like, "Be happy, how's everything going, and have you eaten yet?" There are also pictures of babies on the railing, and at the center of the bridge is a brass statue of an old man counseling a young, apparently depressed person. Seoul has rebranded the entire structure the Bridge of Life. City officials say the motivational messages will work better than physical barriers. Lee Do-ki is head of Han River Bridges for Seoul City.
자살 방지 벽은 자살 장소만 바꿀 뿐이지 마음을 바꾸는 게 아니기 때문에 자살을 생각하는 사람이
To help come up with the slogans and other visual symbols on the bridge, Seoul contracted the Korea Suicide Prevention Group. Park Young-ki is its president.
저희는 그 효과가 있을 거라고 봅니다. 왜냐하면은 사람이 자살하는 것은 공감하지 못하고 그리고 소통이 되지 않고 그리고 자기가 마지막으로 자기한테 관심이 갖지 못하기 때문에.
But other observers say the bridge's renovations can't really address the core social issues that compel people to take their own lives. Psychiatrist Kim Hyun-chung isn't so sure how effective the positive messages will be.
I think it's just a stopgap measure, you know, it's just temporary. It can't be the only way to solve this problem. But I think it would help, just to an extent, you know. not too much.
She says the Bridge of Life's slogans and pictures only serve as a last-minute attempt to prevent suicide. It will take a lot more to overcome the stress of South Korea's highly competitive society. Park Young-ki of the Korea Suicide Prevention Group agrees.
그러니까 그래서 우리가 이제 주장하는 게 좀 어떻게 해석이 됐냐면 가치의 다원화라고 그래서 그 경제 가치만 가치의 중심에 있지 않다. 여러 곳에 가치가 있다라는 것을 일깨우기 위한 프로그램이라든가 그래서 쉼 프로그램, 기타 등등 이런 프로그램들이 굉장히 많습니다. 그런 프로그램들을 우리가
If the Bridge of Life model proves to lower the number of jumpers, similar campaigns will be started elsewhere. But for now, if someone really does want to take their own life, there are plenty of other bridges across the Han River.
Nepal is home to over 800 different types of birds, and about 15% of these species are endangered. Habitat loss is the main problem. Conservationists are trying to change this trend, and today we meet one bird conservationist with a very unique approach. Meet Gautam Prasad Sapkota. He's popularly known as Chari Dada or Birdman in Nepal.
एक बार मैंने एक टेलीविजन में देखा था किसी ने ट्रेन की आवाज़ निकाला, किसी ने एनिमल्स का आवाज़ निकाला, किसी ने नेता का आवाज़ निकाला, सब निकाला। मैंने हमारा मन में पड़ गया वो चिड़िया का आवाज़ क्यों नहीं निकाला। हाँ, ये चिड़िया का आवाज़ निकाले नहीं, हम औरों को अंदर फ़र्क करते हैं। इसलिए हम 2007 से सीखा है। नेपाली समय है 2062 साल नेपाल का है। 2007 से शुरू किया है आवाज़ सीखने के लिए। हर जंगल में, हर गाछी में, हर निकुंज में जो संरक्षण किया हुआ जंगल है वहाँ पे, गार्डन में, जू में, हर डिस्ट्रिक्ट में घूम घूम के सीखा है। सब चिड़िया जंगल में बैठना पड़ेगा, दिन भर बैठना पड़ेगा, रात को बैठना पड़ेगा। हर चिड़िया किस तरह बोलते हैं, किस तरह समय में किस तरह का आवाज़ निकालते हैं, कौन कौन समय में किस तरह का आवाज़ बोलते हैं, वो सब सीखना पड़ेगा।
Gautam believes he can communicate with birds. In 2008, Gautam famously organised a crow conference in one of Kathmandu's main squares. He attracted hundreds of crows to the square by imitating crow calls. Gautam has gained acclaim for his skills. He's stocked up hundreds of certificates at his home and he's hoping to get his name in the Guinness Book of Records.
हमारा वो भी सर्टिफिकेट देंगे, अवश्य देंगे, क्योंकि 3-4 वर्ल्ड का सर्टिफिकेट आ चुका है चिड़िया के आवाज़ में। गिनीज बुक में क्यों नहीं देंगे कि कंपटीशन करने आदमी नहीं है वर्ल्ड में तो क्या करेंगे। गिनीज वर्ल्ड का ऐसा है कि वर्ल्ड में एक ही होना चाहिए। हमारा पक्ष के पास वो लड़ने वाला नहीं कोई नहीं है, अभी रिकॉर्ड दर्ज करने वाला आदमी नहीं, तो हमें है आगे, हमको सर्टिफिकेट देना पड़ेगा ना।
But Gautam uses his skills to achieve much more than just entertaining people and winning certificates.
क्या है कि हर एनजीओ में हमारा प्रोग्राम बोला था, वहाँ कंजर्वेशन संबंधी प्रोग्राम हो चुका था। हाँ, कंजर्वेशन क्या है, हम 2-4 संघ संस्था में घूम के हाँ मैंने आवाज़ सीखा एंटरटेनमेंट के लिए, वरना अपनी कंजर्वेशन के हमारा वॉइस लगा देंगे। हम 2-4 आवाज़ सुना देंगे बच्चा लोगों को, सबको हाँ भाई बहनों चिड़िया मारना नहीं चाहिए, क्योंकि हमारा इको नेपाल हर जंगल में इको नहीं जा रहा है, इसको ऐसा करेंगे, आवाज़ सुनाएंगे, हाँ नहीं मारेंगे, इतना कलर का होता है, इतना वर्ष के होते हैं, इससे हमको मानेंगे। वातावरण प्रदूषण हो रहा है, हर कौआ के लाके इसे फोर खा के उधर जाएंगे, बाद में सच्चा होगा। बोलिए आवाज़ होगा, सिटी बाजार बोलते सो।
Gautam does many entertaining and educational programs, especially for children, and the children who attend his shows seem to take home a message.
Yeah, we should not kill birds. Yeah, we should save them.
And how are we going to save them?
I think we should save them by planting a lot of trees and by not cutting down them.
Gautam has been working alongside Bird Conservation Nepal, a local NGO that has been researching and making policy-level suggestions to the Nepalese government for the last 20 years. Ham Gurung heads the group.
In Nepal, we have so far 871 species of birds have been recorded, which is about more than 8% of the global total bird species. Even is much more than North America. And in Nepal now, according to the 2010 State of Nepal Birds Report, 149 species of birds are they are threatened, right? So that means habitat loss and destruction of forest and wetlands and many other issues. So 149 birds out of 871 species, they are not nationally threatened, right? So it was 100 and less than that in 2004. So the number is going up.
I ask him how real Gautam's claims of imitating 251 birds is.
I saw the list he gave to me, but I also sometimes chit chat with some bird experts, right? So all the voice that he can make not necessarily correct. Crow is very good. I think he can do 100%. Crow, yeah. But and the problem is not many people know. Like for example, he said example of a mimic of the Himalayan monarch, and people don't know. So you have to rely on right what he said, what he did, right? But I didn't see myself that there's any authenticity of all the voices are correct. But nevertheless, that is a good job.
Whether Gautam's claims of imitating all these different birds is true or not, there's no doubt that he's lending his voice to support the cause of bird conservation. The phenomenon of K-pop, or Korean pop, is sweeping the planet. It's the whole package: clothing, dance and music with an irresistible beat that has caught hold and still won't let go. From the Philippines to Paraguay, even up to Scandinavia, K-pop has arrived. Rick Wasserman has the story.
All it takes is a chain of SMS messages to spread the word, an open space, a loudspeaker system, and bang, flash mob, K-pop style. K-pop, or Korean pop, has taken hold not just here, but everywhere there are people who want to shake their bodies and experience a little collective energy. It's easy to join the collective, says K-pop fanatic Felix Woe.
It becomes a collective because they have the same interest. They don't just fall in love with the music, they fall in love with the dance also.
The trend has become so popular that K-pop clubs have been springing up globally to meet the demand. But it's been a long time coming for Korea. The modern dance floor has borne witness to other recent mass trends. The Macarena in the 1980s, breakdance, and Madonna with her Vogue style. Meanwhile, 2 decades ago, while this was going on back in Korea, there was only folk music being recorded. Japan was on the cutting edge of Asian pop, says DJ Seija from Tokyo, but then the Korean economy kicked in.
I think the economy helps a lot. They have a lot of originality on their music. Yeah, it begins maybe like 5-6 years ago. It all started in Japan, but now Korea is taking the lead. Yeah.
Suddenly, there were a slew of bands mixing techno, rap, and rock in videos with teenagers in their natural environments. And the innovative record company SM Entertainment, which started in 1995, now Korea's largest, to add the magic touch and the financing. With expensive high-definition video productions depicting young school kids and their habitats and a driving beat, K-pop took off and spread. SM Entertainment not only churns out hits, it vacuums the country in search of talent. When their school day is over, Korean teenage wannabes are trained in another schoolroom, in singing, dance, and microphone technique. The music industry has a lot in common with the rest of the country, says Claudia Rios, who's lived in Seoul.
The music industry in Korea acts in the same way that workers do in Korea. They try always to be better and better, trying to get what we will do in the next video better. So when I was living in Korea, I see this so much. People is so focused on to be better and innovate and trying to get better every day. So I think that's what people in Korea reflect in the music industry.
And then came the blockbuster Gangnam Style by Psy and ripped the roof off.
Oppan Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style.
The song has gotten more than 500 million hits on the internet. K-pop exploded into a sensation, putting Korea on the musical map. The trend continues here in the capital of Scandinavia with infectious abandon. Club organizer Shinga Lee says it's only the beginning.
It's expanding internationally, so I think we're gonna be really involved with K-pop in the future.
From Sweden, this is Rick Wasserman for Asia Calling.
For decades, Myanmar has been held in the tight fist of a military regime. The people were stifled in their voice and their creativity. But with the reformist government now in power, the country is opening up to the international community, and in particular, Western culture. Creativity can now blossom, and graffiti has sprung up around the commercial capital, Yangon. DBB spoke to the artists who expressed themselves through street art. Helen Reagan has more.
The largest business city in the country, Rangoon, graffiti is springing up everywhere. Far from the sprawling tags by teenagers, street artists are now emerging. Kajor is 22. He started spray painting when he was just 12. Many residents look upon the graffiti artists as vandals, and they are often arrested by the police. In Burma, graffiti has stood for freedom of expression, with some Burmese protesting against oppression by writing slogans in defiance of the government on the walls around Rangoon. Aiko is an artist who defends against those who call graffiti vandalism. The Generation Wave was one group who got involved in anti-military government campaigns through spray art. It was led by hip-hop star Zaya Thor, who became a Member of Parliament this year. Many members of Generation Wave, including Zaya Thor, were arrested and sentenced to prison in 2008. They were only released at the beginning of this year. Graffiti art can be controversial and provocative. One now famous piece of street art is of President Obama. It gained international media attention as it was painted during the US president's historic trip to Burma in November. A few days before Obama landed, Arcajor and his friends painted the now iconic painting as a welcome message to the president. After the Obama painting was shown in international papers, the artwork was guarded by local police. It has pushed Arcajor into the spotlight, and he was even invited to listen to Obama's historic speech. After the visit, someone erased part of the painting, but it didn't stop them from drawing another identical one in a lighter area of town. In December, Rangoon authorities announced a ban on any paintings in urban areas. But other artists aren't surprised, as there are laws in other countries to protect from vandalism.
area တစ်ခုခုတတ်မှတ်တင်ပါတယ်။ဘာလဲဆိုတော့ဒီမြို့ထဲမှာဆူးလေဒီမြို့တော်ခမ်းမနေရာတွေမှာအဲ့လိုမျိုးမလုပ်ဘူးဆိုရင်ပိုပြီးတော့ကောင်းပါမယ်။အဲ့လိုမျိုးပေါ့ဒီတတ်မှတ်ထားတဲ့တစ်ခုခုကိုတတ်မှတ်တင်ပါတယ်။ပြီးရင်ဆွဲရမယ့်နေရာတစ်ခုလည်းထွက်ပေါက်အနေနဲ့တတ်မှတ်ပေးထားစေချင်ပါတယ်။အဲ့မှာလည်း balance တစ်ခုမျှမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်။
Artist A.Co organised an exhibition to showcase some local graffiti artists' work. He says there are around 150 graffiti artists in Rangoon.
So, we want to use the blue long label. So, I don't know that Google image, graffiti also superior. The Anumia could put this way down, the New Zealand, the organized lobby to what could lobby. So, generally, the time I see in 9G, my general graffiti this way. Not about Pigari management and curvy pony, so we are local putable. So, Dow, Nubia, the Kuni, general Lacamia, general Lojabo.
The ban in Rangoon probably won't stop graffiti from springing up around the city. Whether you consider it art or vandalism, it may only serve to highlight the underground culture further.
And that's all for this edition of Asia Calling, your window on Asia. For more stories from our correspondents around the region, visit asiacalling.org. I'm Rebecca Henschke. Thanks for your company. Goodbye for now.